This week on the Stogie Geeks Show, we welcome our special guest and co-host this week, Eric Guttormson, a.k.a. Master Sensei of Cigar Dojo. In our Debonair Ideal segment, we pay homage to the man who discovered cigars. We will cover an assortment of cigars in our Stogies of the Week. Plus, we bring back an old game from the Stogie Geeks archives, so stay tuned.
This is a Security Weekly production. Brought to you by, paying homage to the Mecca of tobacco, Pinar del Rio, Cuba, Abe Flores opened his PDR cigar factory in the Dominican Republic over 10 years ago. Abe is one of the hottest boutique cigar makers in the industry today, earning the number 10 spot on Cigar Aficionado's top 25 cigars of 2014 with the Abe Flores 1975 Serie Privada. Abe and his team use Cuban blending traditions in a modern boutique Dominican factory. Smoke PDR cigars and cut, light, and taste what they love to do. M. Bombay cigars represent the most admired cigar culture of Cuba. They select the best of the best quality tobacco to use in the aging process. M. Bombay cigars are then rolled in Costa Rica by some of the most experienced cigar rollers, giving it a unique smoking experience. The band portrays the detailed and artistic nature of our small industry. Try the M. Bombay Casera, M. Bombay Mora, and the recently released M. Bombay Havana. M. Bombay cigars, where the cigar is a way of life.
I love that I get to smoke cigars and call it work.
Hey, Paul.
What's going on, cigar newbie?
I'm halfway through this cigar you gave me, and I was wondering if I could put it out and save it for later.
No.
Well, I wanted to try the Liga Privada with the Connecticut wrapper, and I was wondering where I could get some of those.
Yeah, so those don't exist.
Well, I also have some of the cigars you gave me from before, and I was wondering if I could store them in my refrigerator.
Only if you're going to eat them.
Don't be like Mark. Subscribe to Stogie Geeks Shorts with Paul and Will, a 10-minute show about all things cigar smoking. We provide tips and tricks on humidification, cigar storage, mini reviews on select cigars, accessories, and more. Stogie Geeks Shorts is one-stop shopping for learning about which cigars to smoke and the right way to cut, light, and store your favorite stogies. You can watch Stogie Geeks Shorts on our YouTube channel or subscribe using your favorite podcast app. For all the latest episodes, visit stogieshorts.tv.
Hey, Paul, this cigar is awesome, and I wanted to share it with you, and I was going to cut it in half.
Oh, boy. You need to watch Stogie Geeks Shorts.
Welcome, everybody, to the Stogie Geek Show. This is episode 204 from Studio C in North Carolina. I'm Will Cooper, manning the controls down here, but we're powered up in Rhode Island by the Villiger North America Studios with Mark and the team there manning the controls. Paul is not here tonight. He is taking a well-deserved day off with the family, and I hope he's enjoying it. But we actually have a great show. We're going to have a lot of fun on this show tonight, and I think that's going to be a key word. We're going to cover a little tribute to Christopher Columbus, who I think is a very important character when it comes to not only who discovered America, which I believe he discovered America, but also cigars. And there's a lot of themes that we'll talk about with Columbus and how he touched the cigar industry past and present. We'll get into that in our Debonair Ideal segment. We're also going to bring back a very old Stogie Geeks game. It's called Cigar Mount Rushmore. And if some folks who may remember the early days of the show, we did one back on episode 75. We're going to actually do it again tonight. But I'm not alone. I'm actually joined by a very special co-host who's going to participate in the festivities tonight. Let me introduce, without further ado, Master Sensei of Cigar Dojo. Master Sensei, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm excited to be on the show, man. I've been looking forward to this for 3 weeks.
I tell you, I mean, you were long overdue to come back on the show because I've been on your show a few times, and I think we've had some epic shows we've done over on the dojo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that last one was a fun one. We did the open line one, which was pretty popular. People like that show.
That was a lot of fun. And if folks haven't checked that out, I think you can go over to the Cigar Dojo. I was asked some incredible questions, including who would play me in a movie, and how I would map cigars to the presidential candidates.
Yeah.
That was, and we got into some industry stuff too. So it was a lot of fun there, per se. But we were definitely really glad to have you here tonight. So and we're gonna have a bunch of segments here.
Okay.
But one thing that I like about the dojo, and dojo is not just a media outlet. It's not an app. It's a community. And when I mean this is a community, this is a community in the cigar industry like no other. And one thing that I'm really impressed with what you've done with that community, Master Sensei, is the positive attitude that you have that's come into that. I mean, that's and I'm not saying all communities are negative, but there's a lot of positive energy with the Dojo Nation.
Yeah, there is, and that was that was part of our mission statement when we started, and we worked really hard to sort of make that, to get that vibe, and then after a while, you get the right sort of core group of people, and then it just kind of goes on its own. It's just like a ball rolling downhill. You don't even need to worry about it anymore if you get that sort of vibe going initially, which took a long time, and but now it's paying off because you're right. That's a super tight knit community. They welcome new members, with open arms, and they meet up with each other all over the world, and it's great. It's super great, and I appreciate you saying that, Coop.
No, thank you. I mean, I was at your party, your IPCPR party this year, and I've been to a few of them now. But this year was really interesting. There was so much love that people showed me. I just couldn't. I was really blown away. It was one of my highlights of all of IPCPR. Just meeting a lot of the people from Dojo who. This is very true. They came from all over the country, these people. I'm not kidding, for this party.
Yeah, there was even a guy from England. He was out there just for the party, not for IPCPR, but just for the party. So people they love the dojo. They're very loyal. They get into it. And when we have chances to meet up, they'll travel, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And like I said, just interacting with them on the app. And if folks don't have the mobile dojo app, you need to put it on there. It's a terrific community, especially when we watch Smoke Night Live on Friday nights. I mean, I make a point of making sure I have the app up. Very interactive, a lot of fun there.
Yeah, it's a good time. Every Friday night we got a party that goes deep into the night.
Yeah, and it's not just, I know you have a guest on usually to kick it off on Friday nights, but then afterwards you have this, it's not over. There's a herp that goes on where you have these people from your audience just kind of doesn't go away. It kind of stays there, and there's more interaction and a lot of fun that happens after that.
Yeah, we usually have some sort of theme, like every Friday it might be like a beer night or bourbon night, or sometimes we'll have like Nicaraguan cigar night, and so that theme runs through the night, and really the show that we do, the live show, just sort of kicks stuff off, and then it gets wilder and crazier as the night goes on. Yeah, no,
that show. I've done that show about 4 or 5 times now, and and when I'm home on Friday nights, it's always a point for me to watch it. And of course, you have the replays of all those shows on YouTube as well.
Right. Yep.
Now, how long has Dojo been in operation for?
So the Dojo website started about, I'm trying to think now, 4.5 years ago. And so the Dojo app is just coming up on 4 years in since we've been around. We started. It really kind of got rolling around November, December of that year. So it's coming up on 4 years.
Wow. That is that's and what you've built in 4 years has been nothing short of amazing there. So
Well, thank you. Yeah, you know what? It's cool. Coop is even just recently we've had nights on there that just regular old nights that would have blown away our. We would have been so excited to have that back in the day, and now just on a regular night, we get that kind of interaction. So it's really cool to see it be so, big, and it just continues to grow.
very, very true. Very true. Very true. And you've done a lot in terms of the website there. And I know when I was on your show, Cigar Dojo, you guys have some really good written content that I think you guys have really in the last year. It's really, the work that's being done, especially your IPCPR work and the reviews, it's very thorough and very comprehensive.
Yeah, we got obviously Jordan, who's my son, and he's like the main editor of the Cigar Dojo, and he writes a lot of that content, takes a lot of the images, the pictures. He's just an amazing kid, and he really works hard, and he knows his stuff. That kid knows cigars. He really knows the industry well. And so he sort of handles the bulk of that, and then we have about 3 other guys that write for us, and they're really talented guys that that do reviews. So the website is that's like the skeleton that keeps it going. That's like the spine of the dojo, because without that, people might not find the app. So they go to read a review, and then hey, there's this app, I'll download it, and then they become part of the community. And so, but yeah, you're right. The content on there, we've really worked. It's funny, Coop, you bring that up, because we recently, about a year ago, we redid our website, and in redoing it, we had to go back and edit some old reviews and stuff and get them to the new format. And I couldn't believe how bad some of our early stuff was. We've come a long way, since the early days, and mainly that's thanks to Jordan. He kicks butt when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I went back into the Cigar-coop archives, it's Cigar-coop's now entering its 7th year. So I'm looking at some of the 2010 and 2011 stuff, and it's awful. So I think what's interesting is, I think you can attest to this. We learn from as we do this, as we go along. It's
Sure.
not just we learn about cigars. I think you learn about cigars as you're doing this. But you also learn about the little things such as publishing and photography and editing and all those little things.
Right.
So I think it's part of the evolution. In fact, when we moved the website last year, we had to go through a lot of retrofitting to it, and that's when it really kind of came up to. That's what really came to me as far as that goes. How far we've come along there. Now, I remember when you were on the show last year, you kind of unveiled a concept called Cigar Wars, which is still going strong. So why don't you talk a little about Cigar Wars?
Yeah, in fact, that is going way stronger than we ever imagined. You would not believe the amount of traffic that goes through Cigar Wars. So Cigar Wars was this idea a long time ago on the Dojo app and on Twitter and stuff. I would just grab 2 cigars, and I'd post a picture, and I'd say, who would win in this fight? Just kind of being silly. And so I did that for, I don't know, a year or so, and people would comment, Opus X or whatever. So then one night when I was laying in bed, I said, I'm just going to turn that into a regular feature. And so we started we created it and then integrated it into the app and started adding cigars, which is a really, really painstaking process. And now there's, I don't know, 300 cigars or something, which I think there's 39,000 different battle combinations. And so now there's a lot of cigars in there. So it's really basically You open up the Dojo app, you click on Cigar Wars, and you get a picture of 2 cigars. And basically, you just click on the one that you would rather smoke. I'd rather smoke this. I'd rather smoke that. And as you do that, it's building a list, a big master list of, the best cigars to the worst cigars, or, the least liked cigars, just based on the way people click, all over the world. I like this cigar over that cigar.
And there's a point where a cigar kind of gets to a point where it could retire, correct?
Yeah. What happens is, although we're still tweaking that, as you mentioned it, but what happens is, like, for a while, the 1964 Padron Anniversario, it was just stuck at the top. You couldn't get it off of there. I mean, it was just so popular that it was just always number one. So we decided, well, if a cigar is first, 3 months out of the year, Jordan? If a cigar is first in every month for 3 months in a given year, a rolling 12 months, then it goes into the Cigar Wars Hall of Fame, and then it gets retired for a year so other cigars have a chance to have that top spot. Now I think we're going to only retire them for a month at a time. But anyways, the point is, eventually we'll have like a Hall of Fame of cigars that have reached that plateau of being number one 3 months out of a rolling 12 months. And then that gives us sort of a neat feel for, some history behind all of this. Like, we want this to have a history behind it. Like, what was popular and what were the most popular cigars. And so, when you look at that list, that top 100 list, there's a leaderboard. And when you look at that list, really that's a pretty doggone good list. If you owned a cigar shop and somebody said, hey, what's a good cigar to smoke? You could just point them to that leaderboard, because pretty much everything on that top 100 is really good. So it's kind of neat. It's a neat little tool.
Which cigar right now is ranked number one? Are you able to tell me?
Yeah, let's take a look. It's really been moving around lately. Sober Mesa's been up there. What was it? Lil Behu was up there. Lil Behu. Let's see. What else was up there, Jordan? There's a bunch. Right now, Liga Privada just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, the number 9.
Oh, wow.
Right now, this is a shocker. I don't even know where this came from. This cigar came out of nowhere, because that wasn't even in the top 10. So somebody must be really pushing hard for it. But the Espinosa Habano, right there, it's number 1, and right behind it is Sober Mesa. But here comes Padron again, right, working its way back up, coming out of retirement. So.
And let me tell you something. This Cigar Wars is noticed by the industry. I'll just kind of say, as folks know who watch the show, my son started working retail in a cigar store. And there was a cigar company that actually went and they sent out a kit, for an employee kit, basically. And this is very prominent cigar maker. This is not just some boutique, but this is a very prominent cigar maker. And in the kit, they give a bunch of information about the cigar and how to sell it. But then there's media references, and one thing that was in there was Cigar Wars and how well this cigar did in Cigar Wars. So
yeah,
it was.
You shot me that on Facebook, I think, and I was pretty shocked. I was pretty shocked to see that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So I thought it was really cool. Now you mentioned we're talking about cigars.
Yeah.
And one thing that you've done an incredible job with is with this community, you've been able to partner with some of the leading cigar makers in the industry, and you've come up with a bunch of exclusive releases, or releases that are exclusive for I wouldn't say dedicated to the community, but they're exclusive to one particular place that sells them. And in particular today, there was a big announcement on something around that.
That's right. So today we announced officially. It's probably one of the least best kept secrets, because we mentioned it at our dojo party in Vegas too. But we officially announced today that we were going to do That Sarsaparilla 2 will come out in October 21st. So that's less than 2 weeks from now. We've been working on it for a year. We've been working on this for a year, trying to get it just right. And like if you remember right, the original Sarsaparilla came out about 2 years ago. And so it was a real big hit, and people really wanted more and more and more. And so instead of just coming out with it again, which we could have done, we decided to do a Sarsaparilla 2, which is a little different. And Coop, I have it right here. Let's take this bad boy out. So this time around, it's a 6x50 Toro. And it's a little different band, but the blend is the same. It's a little more slender because the other one was a Bellicoso, and so it's 52. So you're going to get a little bit more of the wrapper flavor in it, which I think people are going to love. And so we're super excited. They'll come out in there'll be 1,000 total 10 packs, and they'll be sold exclusively through Famous Smoke Shop. And then that day, October 21st, me and Jordan and Eric Espinoza and Juan Cancel and Bill Ives, we're all going to be at the Leaf there at Famous Smoke, and we're going to be having a release party. So if you're in the area, if you're in that area of the country, we'd sure love for you guys to come join us out there.
Have you been to the Leaf before?
I have not.
It's a great place. It's a great place. Yeah. It's at Famous headquarters. It's in Easton, Pennsylvania. So you're about an hour and 15 minutes north of Philadelphia, kind of. But it is a very, very good place. I haven't been there in a while. It's probably been about 3 years since I've been there myself. But I highly recommend it. And I'll tell you something. This is now is this the fourth cigar you've done?
Yeah, officially for us, it's the fourth. Now, there's been 3 Moya Ruiz cigars that were kind of made for the dojo community, but those weren't really dojo cigars per se, although we did have stuff to do with some of those. But for us, for the dojo and us collaborating, so we had the Dogma, which was with Drew Estate, and then we had the original Sarsaparilla with Espinoza, and then we had a Viaje, which is called the Throwdown. So actually, this is 5.
5. I forgot about the Viaje. I did forget about the Viaje.
5. And then just this summer, we did Whiskey Rebellion with Romacraft, which was a really big hit. And so then now here comes Sarsaparilla 2, which makes 5.
Well, you're underestimating how big a hit these cigars, because every one of them is sold out. I mean, you can't get these cigars. If you have them, you're really sitting on a unicorn there. But as far...
This is good. Yeah.
Okay. Whiskey Rebellion, in particular, that cigar sold out before the general sale. I mean, so that was just put out to the dojo community, and which I'm a member of, and I did manage to get a box of those. And it's an unbelievable cigar. As each of these have been unbelievable cigars. This is not, and these have sold out. I know retailers that bring in some major shop exclusives that they can't move them. And you can look at what those retailers are, and you can see that those cigars are still sitting around. And here we got a community, and I think it's a combination of the energy of the community, and just putting a great product. These have been great cigars.
Yeah, that's the thing, Coop, is like, I'm not a blender, so I don't claim to be, the mastermind behind this cigar. But what we do is when we do these projects, we go to them and we really push to get like something really good. We don't just take the first thing that they give us. And so we want to come out with something that we personally love and that we can be proud of. And when I say you guys should buy these, I want to mean it. I want to really mean that. And so that's the thing. We're really pushing to make these, and that's why they've taken so long. Like, I've seen some other, communities and stuff that are just banging these small batch products out, just like, one after the other. Every single one that we've done is taken us over a year to between the time we thought of the idea and started, getting test blends to completion. And so that time, taking all that time and making sure it's really good, I think pays off in the end, because people know, okay, if I buy this Dojo cigar, I'm not going to get some really crappy cigar. I'm going to get something that's probably going to be pretty good, because, they've taken the time to make sure that it's a pretty good product.
Absolutely. And, I remember, sarsaparilla, so it was 2 years ago, and I remember last year at the Dojo party in New Orleans, I know we were able to get a few of those, I think, in our goodie bag. And I just remember people were all asking about that cigar, which it's a very unique cigar. And it has, I see where you're going with the sarsaparilla note in that thing. It's not a cookie cutter cigar that Espinosa's done on that.
Yeah, and I think what people are going to like about this one is it's the same exact blend, but like I was saying, it's going to be a little bit more prominent on the wrapper. Plus, it's longer, so you're going to get a little bit longer of a smoke. And we figured, hey, if people liked the first one, they're really going to like this one, because they're going to get more of it and more of the wrapper that we feel it was the real highlight of the show. And so it's just, I think this might be just a slightly better combination between the tobacco and the Vitola that this is. I mean, I still love the first one too, but I'm super excited about this one. Perfect draw, tons of smoke, San Andreas Mexican wrapper, undisclosed binder and filler, because we can't tell you that. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things that Eric likes to keep a secret. So, but Eric Espinosa is great to work with on these. I know you love him as much as I do, but there's not a cooler dude in the entire industry than Eric. And he makes sure that he gets into this too. He's excited about this too, because he got bugged a lot by people. Wherever he would go around the country, people would be like, when's the sarsaparilla coming back? When's the sarsaparilla coming back? So finally we got together and said, hey, let's do it again. And so here we go.
I was at Espinosa World Headquarters in March for La Zona Palooza. And Eric's got a wonderful facility, and he's got this one room. It's kind of like, I want to call it like the trophy room. And he has his best work kind of in there. He doesn't have every one of his cigars in there, and they're in these cabinets. And in there, and I know I remember I sent you the picture, is the sarsaparilla. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's and I think some of the Moya Ruiz stuff may have been in there as well. So that is a nice job with that. And you said it's debuting on October 21st?
Yeah, October 21st. So what'll happen is, just like with the other releases, there'll be a post on the Dojo, which isn't there yet because we just announced it today. But there'll be a post on the Dojo either tomorrow or the next day where you can sign up on a special email list to be notified first when they actually go on sale. And usually these lists get pretty big. You'd be surprised. Yeah. There's almost more people on these lists than there are, product. Now, not everybody buys, of course, but so what we learned when we first did the Dogma, we just posted. We said, hey, at noon Eastern, we're just going to post on the Dojo app the link so that you can go buy the Dogma, right? Well, it totally crashed the Dojo app because everybody was just hitting reload like a million times, right? And so now what we do to avoid that situation is we send out an email at noon Eastern to all the people that signed up for that list. And then like a half an hour later, we post it on the Dojo app. And then a half an hour after that, we post it on social media, or, there's a schedule. And it kind of like, it spreads it out so that there's not just a big crush of traffic. And we try to make it to where the people who want it the most have the best shot at it. The people who are the most excited and the most, real crazy about it, they're going to have the best chance at getting it. And then we, spread it out. And then that night, all that day, you can also buy them, at the Leaf or at Famous, where we'll be having the release party. So you can get them, on location as well.
So, here's the thing for folks. This is legit when these cigars sell out, right? And you need to kind of get on the list if you want to get these, right? Because Whiskey Rebellion was a great example. I got the email, and I was like, well, maybe I should wait. And I said, nah. It was like my lunch hour. I'll just order them now, right? Had I waited, I would have not gotten a box of the Whiskey Rebellions. I would have had to kind of go raid Master Sensei's humidor, right? So I mean,
Yes.
which I should have did anyway, right? So I mean, these are, like I said, these are highly in demand. They're all, I mean, these are all excellent cigars that you're getting. Especially, I've smoked the Sarsaparilla. It's a wonderful cigar. It's a unique cigar, and I'm really looking forward to that in the Toro.
Yeah, I think you guys are really gonna. I think you guys are really gonna dig this. Yeah, Whiskey Rebellion sold out in 64 minutes. Now there's twice as many of these as there was Whiskey Rebellion. So there's 1,000 of these. So that helps. That should. When we did the first run of Sarsaparilla, we sold 500 in a couple hours, and then the other 500 sold within like a month, I think. So there was, when you have 1,000 of them, that's quite a bit. So I think anybody who wants to get their hands on these, well, you're going to have a good shot at it, but they will sell out. And there are people every day on the dojo trying to get their hands on the original one. So I recommend, hey, Eric and the Lazona guys, they know how to make a good cigar. So you're going to dig this. You're going to dig it.
Absolutely. Before we kind of cut into some of the other activities, anything else happening on the dojo that maybe folks want to know? Do you have anyone coming up on Smoke Night Live? Any kind of projects otherwise you're looking forward to?
Well, the only other thing that's going on is this week we're going to go down to Houston, and we're going to hang out with the guys from Stogie's World Class Cigars, because they're having their big jamboree down there. And I think there are tickets still left over. So if you're interested in hanging out, Eric Espinosa there's gonna be a lot of people there. I don't know if you guys if everybody knows Jorge from Stogie's of Houston. He's one of the coolest dudes in the entire industry, and so he has this event every year. So we're gonna go down there. We're gonna hang out. It's a great event. But hey, if you guys live in the Texas, Dallas, Houston, Galveston, San Antonio area, come on up and hang out with us. It's next Saturday night at Stogie's. It's not at his shop. They have it at a place not far away. But you can find all the information on their website. So we're going to go down, and we're going to be selling some shirts and stuff. We'll be down there next Saturday night.
Awesome. So Eric, yeah, what we'll do is we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to get right back into Debonair Ideal. So stay tuned.